Alyssa, for your master's research, you are studying the way public history sites incorporate perpetrator narratives.
It's probably best to start off with sort of like a general idea of what those two sites are and why they're
Hmm.
significant in history.
Okay.
So the House of the Wannsee Conference was made famous because of a conference that was held there in January of 1942. And if people are familiar with the Holocaust and the idea of the final solution, generally we do the final solution in quotation marks because that's perpetrator language. Generated by the Nazis. When they met in January 1942, they already knew this was going to happen, and that conference was just there to decide how it was going to happen and to assign roles, enact different laws, and that sort of thing. There was 15 Nazi officials who were there. Just lasted a day and then it was done. But now it's been converted into a museum and an education site. Conversely, in the US, Oak Alley Plantation was it was opened in the antebellum period. So the antebellum period is generally considered to be the time from the formation of the US government in around 1832 to the start of the Civil War in 1860. So it was opened in the 1830s as a sugar plantation. It's been made into a public, it has a federation that runs it, but it is actually the same family who still has some say over what happens with the committee that runs it, which is interesting. So Oak Alley Plantation opened in 1978, and the House of the Wannsee Conference opened to the public in 1992. So in terms of perpetrator history, House of the Wannsee Conference, it's pretty standard to think of that as a perpetrator site because it was perpetrators who met there. We think collectively as a society that those were the perpetrators. The Nazis were the perpetrators in that place. The Oak Alley Plantation is a little bit different because generally as a society, we don't think of enslavers and slave owners as being perpetrators. We don't use that language. So it becomes a little bit more murky. And that was definitely what my research centered on, was why don't we say that these were perpetrators? Why weren't the enslaved people victims and the others, the slave owners, perpetrators? We just don't. It's not in the lexicon. You won't see that when you visit these places. So I was very interested in sort of the discrepancy with that. And then also how, if any ways, language is used and that sort of thing, and education is used to sort of display or not convey that message to a public audience.